What's up, fuckers? You know, to start out 2025, I have not been nowhere near as active as I typically am when it comes to being deep in the EDC streets. At least when it comes to acquisitions. I have managed to buy a few here and there, but nowhere near like years past. But I have maintained my involvement in all things mod life. Case in point, this one just got back. Sent this out to Brian at Transparent Knives. This is my PM2, or rather goddamn PM Mac 2 3.5 rendition. Tonto apparatus. Now you might not know by looking at it what exactly was done, so let me learn you. Now the Mac 2 arrives typically in a perfect format. Really not much to complain about. But I did throw on a bulbous set of beautifully textured tits, thereby making this knife even better than its original form. Just a quick demonstration on the upgrade as far as tit size goes. These are the original ones, and these are the new bulbous tits. Done for me, like I mentioned, by Mr. Brian. Now that's not it. I also sent him this beauty. Also received a tit job. This is my Cold Steel 8015. Knife so nice that I did buy it thrice. But he only did, not only did he do a tit job for me on this one, he also went ahead and gave me that nice deep hollow grind along with a beautiful dark wash finish. So not only is the man doing fantastic reblades, he is also balls deep when it comes to these mods. Now, I did make a purchase this year. Well, kind of, sort of. A little bit of swapperooski. And so without further ado, let's get to the dope. All right, big thank you goes out to the young pup, Mr. West Side, one of my knife bros. We did a little bit of swapperooski. He got this knife on the drop. Felt it was a little bit too small for him. So you know how I feel about small knives, people. Small knives matter. Now this is something special. This is actually a design from a South African maker and designer. One who is a legend in the game, Mr. Gareth Bull. And this is Gareth Bull Knives Mini Xyro. Keon Mini. Now this is actually a production version of that knife done by Reate, world-class OEM people. These were on pre-order. They were $450, so hefty price point. But goddamn is it worth every penny. Now, the Xyro has a couple of forms of deployment on it. Got a well-executed front flipper. Beautifully done milling, or rather jimping on that flipper tab. He's also giving us two blade windows. The show side has got his symbol, his maker's mark. And then it is a clean window there on the clip side. Beautiful, slightly contoured black camo carbon fiber scales over full-length titanium liners. We've got black PVD hardware in the pivot as well as in the body. Nude satin titanium pivot collars. Woo! And a detent that is dialed the fuck in. Now, typically with the front flippers, you know, companies tend to go towards the lighter side when it comes to detent. And this is a little bit lighter, but it is perfection, goddammit. Trust me, as I'd never shit you. We've got 6.8 inches for overall length, so definitely a little bit smaller than a lot of people like to carry. Of that, 3 inches in this gorgeous drop point blade. M390 steel is the steel of choice. Love that machine satin finish. So we've got the vertical machine satin finish there on the grind. And then when it goes to the right here to your flats, that's actually what he calls a longitudinal satin on the flats. And then he's also giving us a glass bead blast there in those blade windows, along with these titanium liners. Same finish on those. Now we do get this titanium backspacer that has also been PVD coated. Like I mentioned, titanium liners. Now they do give us a nice bit of room for your access to that lock bar, but it's a rather small cutout, but it's pulled back quite a bit, so no issues for that. Cage ceramic bearings in the pivot, obviously. We've got a truly deep carry titanium pocket clip. Also has that same bead blast finish. Weight on this, pretty lightweight. I say extremely lightweight, 2.5 ounces. Now the bearings are riding on hardened steel, or rather hardened stainless steel thrust washers. So definitely a change of pace from the last knife I showed y'all. I really did not expect to be this impressed by this knife, you know. I had kind of felt that Reate was kind of starting to, you know, people were starting to gain ground on Reate as far as other Chinese OEMs goes. Case in point, Bestech, Kubi, Kidu, Reike. All those companies have started to pretty much creep up on Reate. But Reate dragged their nuts on this one, letting everybody know that they ain't with the bullshit. As far as ergos goes, definitely no hot spots, no issues for that. Just a perfect little knife, man. Would have definitely probably loved to have seen this maybe like in 7.25 overall. But you can easily do the over-the-top flip. And like I said earlier in the video, the jimping they went with is the way to go. That's my favorite style of jimping. You know, Reate does the jimping so well. Now, something else I wanted to point out is on the actual spine. Coming out of that jimping for the front flipper, it is crowned there. And then as you go towards the tip of the blade, it almost does like a triangle. Really cool feature. Yeah, very impressed. Does the price warrant this? I think so. I think it's exquisitely done. Really feel blessed to have it in the collection. Don't know how long it'll stick around. I am working on something behind the scenes as we speak. Also, they did mount that pocket clip with a blind screw. Just gives it such a clean goddamn aesthetic. I tell you, Reate dragged their nuts. I said it again, goddamn it. Now let's go ahead and put some knives up for some size comparison. Basically, a little bit of knife flexing. You know how the fuck we do. Gotta roll with America first. And as a matter of fact, this was one of my purchases this year. Haven't shared it with y'all, but here it goes. The River's Edge Cutlery exclusive Spyderco Native 5. AKA the Rosie Killer. Then I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of Italian dope. One of my favorites. Of course, we're talking about the GM11. Not the 12, goddammit. The 11. Best one yet. Let's do a couple more, shall we? How about another Reate OEM knife? As a matter of fact, this one is one of the favorites also. I know I got a lot of goddamn favorites, people. But this one, I mean it. That, of course, is the Peña Mula Sons of Liberty rendition, 1776. Don't you forget, goddammit. Then we're going to throw with some Kubi vibes. One of my knives of the year last year for the price point. Still loving this goddamn thing. That is the Kubi Momentum. Big shout out to the OG Sharif Manganis for giving us that design. Let's do two more. Goddammit, two more. Gotta have some Taiwan in your life. We're going to go with the Drift OG rendition. And then last but certainly not least, how about them Demco boys? We're going to go with the AD 20.5 in textured titanium. So there goes that Xyro up against those. Xyro, Zero, Hero, some shit like that. I'm going with Xyro. I think that's the way it's pronounced. But, yeah, man. Just a stellar piece. I had kind of heard, you know, rumblings in these streets that just how good this knife was. I've been sitting on this knife for a month, you know. When I was first sent the knife, I was sent it as a checkout, you know. The homie wanted me to experience it. But I knew he wasn't really feeling it based on the size. So, made him an offer. We did some swap-a-brewski. As a matter of fact, full disclosure, I ended up sending him my CKF Gnome. Financially speaking, he came out on top. The Gnome, I think, when I bought it was about $500. But I had plans for that Gnome. I had planned on putting some tits on it. Never got around to it. This Xyro came with the tits, or rather, with your blade windows and the front flipper ready to go. No modded life needed. So I didn't mind giving up that $50 difference in price. But I think this is a home run. Definitely something that I will try to do going forward is get a little bit more of some South African makers, designs in hand, in the collection. Yeah. Cosign, bitches. But more importantly, I want to know what you fuckers think. Tell me all about it. Love you, mean it. Until the next time. Cut something. Cut someone. Just don't cut yourself. Stay dangerous, fuckers!